Welcome to A Sharper Life. I'm Nikki Sharp, wellness expert, best-selling author, and your personal transformation coach. On this podcast, we dive into wellness and mindset routines, improving the relationship with yourself and others, spirituality, travel hacks, and much more. A Sharper Life is your one-stop shop to heal, grow, and step into a life that you love. Each week, we have unfiltered conversations, science-backed strategies, expert interviews, and real-life stories that are guaranteed to leave you feeling inspired and ready to take action. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much for returning. Don't forget to click subscribe and drop a 5-star review wherever you're listening. Your support truly means the world to me. Ready to get your glow on and learn the secrets of the beauty industry? Let's dive in. Today, I have Dr. Ivona, popularly known as Dr. Ivy. She is a renowned aesthetic doctor. Having worked in the industry for over 25 years, she has a cult-like following for her signature treatment, FaceDesign, and other innovative, non-invasive procedures. She also leads in stem cell research and product development, as well as training other skilled professionals in 23 countries. Her brand new Dr. Ivy skincare brand is one of a kind, using exosomes, a trending ingredient to deliver powerful results. So, Dr. Ivy, welcome to A Sharper Life.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let's jump straight in with a juicy one. Is there anything that we should stop doing immediately that's doing more damage than it is good to our skin?
Well, there are a lot of things, but I would say most common mistakes we do when we are tired, we go sleeping with makeup on. So big no to that. Then don't forget your SPF. Don't mix up too much actives in skin ingredients. So it's not the best thing to mix up vitamin C with retinols, AHD with retinols, or just keep it lean as you can. And think very well how you sleep, how you eat. It's all a wellness area. It's not just skin keratin or not just injectables. It's much more out there.
So follow-up question on that then. I've heard about, and I'm sure all of our listeners have, silk pillowcases being like the must-have thing. Is that really something that we need to invest in for our skin?
I would say yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Now, let's be real on this, and you are the perfect person to talk to. Skincare has gotten out of control. There are so many products and things to do, and honestly, I get overwhelmed, and we've had many conversations about this. So I want to know, what advice do you have on staying sane when it comes to skincare and just feeling beautiful in our own skin with so much out there?
Yeah. Well, you always have to be truthful to yourself. You have to understand what is your specific skin type, what are your skin concerns. I would say always try to involve in that your medical practitioner, because rather than that, just listening to TikTok, to different media is not really going to bring anything good to your skin, because we should not follow fashion trends in that. We should really keep it as lean as we can and truthful to your own personal skin, personalized skincare, personalized treatments.
When it comes to all this, and I hear you on that, and having, personalized skincare, there is so much out there, though,
Yes.
of new serums and peptide creams and fillers or threads, and we'll get into that. But what would you say is like your rule of thumb for people listening? Like, I saw a post on Instagram the other day, and it was like, here's your girly wellness beauty hacks. And it was like a 7 or 8 thing scroll with like 5 things on every single page. And I sent it to my friend, and I'm like, when did it get so complicated to just be a woman and feel good? So what are your kind of key things that every woman who wants to look and feel good, like, what do we need to know to simplify it?
Well, first of all, it is somehow connected to your biological age. So it's not the same when you're 20, 30, 40, 50. Depends on your age, depends on your skin type. But I would say always have a good cleanser, and never the feeling of this kind of too clean skin is not good, because you have to protect your microbiome, you have to protect your skin barrier, and you have to work on your cell health. So you have to keep a good moisturizer, good serum, and SPF, of course, and maybe something like my new product, which is actually working on the cell health, which is a bit different story, but maybe later I will explain more about that.
And we'll definitely get into that because you're doing something revolutionary, and I can attest to it. When it comes to washing our skin, when we're cleansing at night, should we be doing 1 or 2 cleanses?
One enough.
Really?
One is enough.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm always
cleanser.
told I guess on TikTok and all of that, it's the 2 time.
Yeah, I would say we have to protect our microbiome, and so good cleanser, it's enough one. If you need to cleanse your makeup before, that's fine. But the good cleanser, it's one. Rinse your skin and don't overdo it.
And what about cleansers in terms of like, there's gel cleansers, there's foaming ones, there's like, I have a little micro exfoliant one that says that you can use for daily use. We have yours. So what do you think are kind of the best cleansers versus maybe stay away from?
I would not go with this, which are exfoliating too much.
Yeah.
It has to be neutral. It has to be neutral. Of course, if you have different skin concerns, like acne scars, then it's a bit different, right? Too oily skin, then you have to find a cleanser right to your skin consideration. But mostly it's good that it's not overdone. Exfoliation has to be controlled. Peelings have to be controlled. Yeah. Otherwise, we are doing more damage to our skin than good.
Follow-up question on that. And as I'm just thinking, when I was younger, I had terrible acne and I tried everything. And I know there's so many people that can relate on this of you have the pimples, you try all the different things, or you have too oily of skin, or you have a combination, or you have dry. So let's break it down into what one thing would you recommend for someone with oily skin, acne, and dry skin?
Well, if I have sons, they're in puberty and they're fighting with acne. So what I do for them, I use exosome cleansers, and I use blue serum and the blue light, LED light. And I think this helps a lot. Of course, if you are not in the stage where you need to use different kind of treatments, or maybe even consider certain medication. But I think it very important is to heal the problem from within. So what is the cause of acne? To bring the balance, and exosomes are brilliant because they're bringing the pH balance, they're cutting on inflammation. So they're bringing a lot of answers of the problems of acne actually. Plus blue LED light, which is bringing more oxygenation under the skin. I think this is one of possible formula.
So let's actually talk about then, how do we know what to filter out, what trends to follow, and in general, as we've been talking about, what products to use. So you just mentioned your skincare line, which we have here. So exosomes. Let's go into that first, and then I'll circle back on the question of like, how does someone discern of, okay, there's a brand new product on the market like this, Dr. Ivy Skincare. Yeah. How do we know what to follow, what not to follow? Yeah. So let's first talk about your skincare, how you created the formulas, and go a little bit more about exosomes, because I know that this is a sort of, maybe not new, but newer to the market product or ingredient. So what are exosomes?
So first of all, I was in Asia. I started in Singapore doing my research and work on stem cells. So this is something which is really getting into the world of regeneration or biohacking, I would say. So exosomes are little tiny messengers in between stem cells, in between any cells in our body, which are bringing huge bundle of messages to our fibroblast. Fibroblast is the cell which is producing collagen. And what we want really nowadays, it's age smart. So we don't want to, like me, I'm in my 50s, I don't want to have a 50-year-old collagen, right? Collagen which is not produced properly, not enough of that collagen. And we all know that DNA at a certain moment can't repair its message, and message is a bit weird. So exosomes are there to repair all of that. Exosomes are there to push our fibroblasts to produce younger collagen, I would say. Simple as that. And they also cut inflammation. We all know that aging is somehow sub-inflammation process. So when we age, we are full of inflammation. We want less inflammation. We can control it with diet, with exosomes, with things like that. So there are a specter, what general public can use to get into the world of biohacking, hack into our biology with little things.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about this then. We have the serum. We then have the regenerative exosome face cream and your cleanser. What made you decide to do these three products?
I saw that there is a huge gap in the market in between clinics and skincare. So all my patients have the need to see me maybe every 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and what they will do in between. So there is nothing so active which can keep them going. And also nowadays people are busy, they travel a lot, they don't have time for all those treatments. I started everything with photon lasers. At that time, so I'm talking about year of 2000, it was very hard to navigate laser because there was no protocols. We knew it's going to do something good in the industry. I have a surgical background. That's how I came to the laser world, because of surgery. And we saw that they can potentially do a lot in rejuvenation, but there were no protocols. So this was year 2000. And nowadays, nearly everyone can operate a laser because it's so simplified. Technology went so much forward, similar to Apple phones, they're changing all the time. So I think to have at home something like little laser, LED mask, which can help us in biophotomodulation, and exosomes is brilliant to start into the world of rejuvenation and bridge the gap in between clinical treatments and skincare.
Beautiful. Would you recommend, and this is actually a question I've always thought about, so I'm glad that I get to ask this to you, and I'm sure if I had this question, then I'm sure other people do. If I'm doing a red light mask, well, the first question, like the Omnilux and there's other brands, do they actually work at home?
Yes, I believe that they do.
Okay.
They work on mitochondria, and they empower your mitochondria to have more energy. And this is what we want, what we need. But I think also there we have to be a bit careful and take this what is somehow medically approved. And because other than that, there are so many things on the market. Amazon is selling. Everyone is selling, right? So I would be careful there, what I'm using, because sometimes it can make more damage than actually help you.
So the question then, now that we know that, yes, the red light at-home mask can be good, should someone put, like, let's say the serum and then the face cream, should we put these on and then do the red light mask, or should that be done without any product?
No, that's beautiful. That's actually the idea, which is absolutely amazing, and I support it so much because lights are on a way giving messages to exosomes what he has to then do, let's say. So if you use blue light and exosome gets the message, okay, let's bring under the skin more oxygen. If you use red light, exosomes comes to the cell and produces more ATP of energy. Yellow light evens the skin tone. So this is kind of, again, message to the exosomes what to do. Navigation system.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's circle back then. We've discussed exosomes and the power of them. I want to go back to how do we discern, especially as women, when there's so many different skincare trends and TikTok, and I mean, it is overwhelming. What is your kind of hard and true advice on what should be filtered out and what should we follow? Like, what's your rule of thumb?
Well, I would never go for all these 7, 8, 10 layers of skincare
Really? Some
routines.
women love their 20-step routines, though.
I believe they do, but this is not doing anything. It can go even wrong if you combine too much actives. Like in America now, we are fighting because young girls are starting to use too active skincare. When I was young, it was maybe Nivea on the market, and my grandmother would say, please don't frown. She was dermatologist. She said, don't frown, and also don't be exposed to the sun. At that time, they did not know how to prevent aging, but these were two keys, right? And there was nothing more on the market. But we were eating well. We were, and we were moving more. We were not in front of TV, so everything was a bit different. Yeah. And nowadays, we have of everything too much. So two active ingredients, and especially combination in between them. Like I said at the beginning, vitamin C with retinols, That's not good for any skin. And I never saw so many problematic skin considerations like dermatitis and rosacea like now. I believe it's something in this too many layering and too active ingredients is in the skincare.
Very interesting, because I know, and especially younger girls who follow the trends on TikTok and whatnot. Like I have a friend who with a daughter, and I remember being over at their house. She was having a sleepover, and my friend's daughter's friend, must be like 10 years old.
Yeah.
She had a far bigger makeup skincare kit than I think I've ever had in my life. And I'm like, what is going on? And so all of these little girls, I mean, I understand it's fun to get into these things, but it is becoming too much, I believe. What is too young to start, say, like a vitamin C or a retinol? Like, what should women parents know for their daughters?
Well, I would say retinol, we have to be quite careful with retinol. I know that everyone is preaching retinol is the best thing, must-have ingredients, but for example, does not work well for my skin. It's exfoliating too much, and it really leaves dryness and redness, and that's something to somehow be concerned about. That's why, again, I went into the world of exosomes, because they're also cutting on inflammation, maybe not so aggressive like retinol, but it's a good comparison and much more soft, and plus they protect the skin barrier, which is very, very important. Vitamin C, I would say, depends on the skin tone, but probably somewhere around 18 plus. I would not go too extreme with all of that. And if I would have daughter, I have 2 sons, I'm controlling their skincare. I'm really controlling what they're using, because even boys nowadays are exposed to everything. So I would be a bit concerned about that.
Let's break it down then by age. What should, and this is a predominantly female audience that listens, and we're talking about skincare, which I think naturally women are a little bit more into than men.
Yeah.
What should women in their 20s be doing? What treatments or products should you do in your 30s? And what are non-negotiables in your 40s and 50s? So let's start with 20.
Yeah. In our 20s, we have to keep our face clean before going sleeping, so makeup off. Then in the morning, at night, we have to apply some hydration cream. Go to bed. In the morning, again, cleanse your face, especially if you go to gym or whatever, cleanse again very well, because we have all this bacteria, all this dirt on our skin. We have smog around us. And then simple serum and the cream. And try to keep away from too active cosmetics. Then what is good in your 20s is good to have some facial. If you have skin concerns, maybe include some IPL. And end 20s, maybe do something more regenerative, like use Dermapen in your, I would say, every 3-4 months procedures, and nothing more than that, actually.
Quick question on that. Is a Dermapen the same as microneedling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the same thing.
Okay.
So basically all the rejuvenation things, we want in 20s, 30s still to bank the collagen, because our bodies can produce it more. So we do all these different things, like different injectables in the clinic. Like you probably heard about polynucleotides now. Then you have different collagen boosters, then beautiful little microthreads, which are also boosting collagen. So whatever we can do to make our body produce more collagen, bank it, and then use it for later.
So what about 30s and late 30s? Like I'm 38 now, and I've come in, we've done the glass skin treatment. We can talk about what that is. Yeah. I personally love it. What other things would you recommend for someone who's 35 up until 40?
Well, maybe some neuromodulators. We have to start to consider neuromodulators.
And what is that?
These are Botox and different kind of there are different brands on the market. Not to go into that now, but basically neuromodulators are putting our muscles asleep, and then our expression is not so strong. If you don't have very strong expressive lines, like 11 lines, crow feet, then we are in the future not going to get deeper lines and static lines on the face. So what we don't want to develop too much, the vertical lines on the face. Like nasolabial folds, 11 lines, this is not real crow feet.
Okay, and then what about as women get into their 40s? What are treatments or any type of skincare, things that they should be aware of at around 40s?
40. Around 40s, well, we have to start to replace collagen. So if we were not building up enough collagen, then we have to start to use maybe hyaluronic acid injectables. Again, there you have to be very careful because the world of biotech, I also work in biotech industry, is overwhelming, and that's even more dangerous than skincare lines. So you have so many injectables on the market, and literally I remember when I started to work, when I was speaking on medical conferences, I couldn't say the name of the brand. It was forbidden because we did not want to mix or bring any message what end consumer will come at the end, or patient will come in the clinic and ask for, because we wanted to keep it medical. But nowadays, everyone is screaming like Juvederm, Cypha, I don't know, Restylane, Sculptra, all these brands,
are
right?
they all the same or are they different?
They are, some of them are the same. They belong to hyaluronic acid families.
Okay.
They are different inside how they are built up, but some of them are totally different, like Sculptra. Then you have a lot of myths coming up on the market, like, oh, I see under my skin, there is a filler which is never going away. And people come to the clinic, and when I tell them maybe we need a little bit of hyaluronic acid replacement because we lose it during the aging process, then they get scared, like, no, I saw on TikTok, this is all staying under the skin. Then I have to explain that's a different type of filler. They're all fillers, but this is totally different type of fillers, what we don't want to use because we want to keep you safe. So it's a lot of things there, but I would say always safety prior to beauty. We have to keep people safe.
I mean, even as you're going off on all of those, my brain is like, well, God, there's so many. And I've thought about that before. Like when I've had injections, they've asked, do you want this for your lips? I'm like, I don't know. You're the esthetician. Like, what is there something that women should know then? Let's say 50s and onwards, different types of lasers or treatments or anything that you haven't mentioned that would really make them look and feel their best. Like facelifts are becoming a bigger thing. Even earlier though, but what could someone do if they don't want to get a facelift, but they're really starting to see their skin sagging and loss of collagen and the pigmentation?
Well, I would say it's the best thing is to do micro droplets, like strategically positioned dermal fillers and Botox injections. But again, with dermal fillers, keep hyaluronic acid. Don't go and start to experiment with different brands, because not brands, but type of fillers, they are not under control of a doctor. So if something goes wrong, let's say you don't like your lips, I can dissolve them, right? And we are happy again, and we start to rebuild them again. But if something goes wrong and you have your sculpture around your face and neck, which I saw a few times, fibrosis of that, I can't help there. So we want to be safe. And they always said beauty is like a very, very powerful engine. You need to know how to drive, and you need to protect your patient and yourself from any possible problems which can occur, because there is a little percentage of possibility that something might go wrong. So hyaluronic acid, Botox, threads maybe in 40s, 50s if you want to, get a little bit of lift around your eyebrows, better definition of jawline. So this kind of treatments which are safe, and you always ask your practitioner, is this something which is going to last long? We don't want products which last long. I know that when you have lips and when they're beautiful and everything, you don't want them to go away, right? You don't want to come for next treatment after a year. But we have to understand that our body is aging, our cells are dying off, and the filler has to go with that flow. So it has to mimic the aging as well. On that way, everything is natural. When I started to work, there were silicons out there, silicone lips, silicone zygomatic, implants. And then what would happen? Even though the lady would be happy with the result, skin around it will age, and it will look very weird. So materials have to somehow go hand in hand with aging process as well.
You mentioned quite a few things that actually I wanted to get into. One of them is what you were saying about skincare and beauty, and it really like driving a car, that we need to be safe with it. Talk to me about, like, we've seen it, and I know a few people in the media, like during COVID or past few years, like where their eyebrows droop and they get paralyzed in one side of their face. Yeah. So and that's with Botox. What happens with that to occur? And then, like, I know so many women, and I've even come in and said, I want to raise my eyebrows. How do we do that? And if I've gone to a different practitioner, they don't always get that right. So how does one, let's say, raise versus now there's a new trend in America of like Korean Botox and people buying it, it's shipped to your house and they're injecting at home by themselves. So what do we need to know about Botox, especially around the eyes?
Well, this trend is really scary. That's my big no, because we don't know the origin of that Botox. It can be branded on TikTok as Korean Botox, but we really don't know which biotech produces that. And then Botox usually, except few brands, is going into the cold chain. So it has to be delivered on a proper way in ice and whatever. Not even to think about storaging it, but later on to inject into your own face. I think it's very, very dangerous. It can go on wrong, really wrong. Not just aesthetically, but as I said, we don't know from where this Botox comes. This is a good question, what you ask about raising eyebrows versus dropping eyebrows.
Versus dropping them, which nobody wants, I'm sure.
No. Everyone wants the open, bigger eyes and positive facial expression. I think the key is knowledge of anatomy. So you need to understand which muscle does what on your face. And face is quite complicated, I would say. I know when I finished my surgical internship, then they would say, oh, everyone would step back from the face. Everything else is a bit easier. But face has 43 muscles, believe it or not. It has 2 layers of fat pads, so many vascularity there, so many nerves. So you really need to know how to play that game with injectables on the face.
So what makes
eyebrows drop? Too much Botox in the upper face. We have just one muscle, which is called frontalis, and this muscle lifts the eyebrows. And what is usually happening and why this mistake comes, because ladies are not happy with those tiny little lines around the eyebrows, next to the eyebrow. And then injector, just quickly put few droplets there, and it's 100% going to happen. Then in 3 to 4 days, these eyebrows will be down.
So where should someone, let's say they're going and getting Botox for the first time, where should someone think to get it then?
Yes. No, it's a superb question, brilliant question. So 1.5 centimeter above the orbital rim, that's the bone. So, or I would say like 1 centimeter above the eyebrows. That's the point from which we don't want to go lower, because you can drop them.
And what about going up higher up? Yeah.
So there is a round muscle around our eyes, and this muscle is if it is Botoxed well, it can just open and nicely flare your eyebrows. And
interesting. Yeah. I remember. Oh my gosh, I've never shared this before. I can't even remember the last time I thought about this, but as we're talking about Botox, the very first time that I got it, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to admit this, was probably, oh my gosh, 11 years ago. I was living in London.
Yeah.
I think I was living in London, and I did a coupon thing to get Botox, and I had to travel really far. I don't fully remember the results, but I do remember learning my lesson and being like, or no, it wasn't Botox, it was filler. It was filler. And I do remember coming out of it and being like, I don't know if it's supposed to look like that. And I got really, really scared, and then didn't do anything for years after that. And I was like really terrified to even do Botox by the time I finally did it.
Yeah. And what went wrong with the filler?
Oh, just bumpy, lumpy, right? And it's like, not to like say companies shouldn't use Groupon and things like that, but it's like, as we're talking about, like you really have to have someone that's knowledgeable. And I've been to enough different practitioners, like living in Miami, working with a few different people, that everyone has a different style in how they inject. And I think it's really important to find someone that understands your face, which actually then brings me, let's talk about face design, because this is what you're known for, is looking at someone and understanding their face and what they need. So what is face design exactly?
Well, face design is my signature treatment, which I came up to, because I was working in the movie industry, first in Hong Kong, China, then in LA, Bollywood. And my thing I had to do, I had to bring the most beautiful out of already beautiful face. So I had to enhance already beautiful people. And then I understood very quickly that every millimeters on the face matters, that you have to really watch that face from the frontal area, from oblique sides, from lateral profile, observe people, how they talk, don't kill their expression. So everything has to be there, mix and match, but beauty lies in really little meticulous details. And that's how I developed face design. It is a strategy how to enhance face on a most natural way. The idea of face design is to stay you, but the best version of you. So I'm always terrified myself when I see overdone faces, because this is, again, another thing. Patient is there to be consulted. How much is enough? Yeah.
And so when someone comes in, for example, with face design, like what's the first thing you notice or start to look at? Like, let's say I come in and I say, I want to do something to my lips. And we've actually had this conversation where I did come in and said, because I've heard about it, masseter Botox. I'd never had it done, and all these things on Instagram was like that it slims your face. Okay, so I fell into the trap, like most women, of doing this. And you said no. You gave me a half dose instead of a full strength one, because you looked at my face and said it won't be good for you. So tell me and the audience why and how, looking at someone like my face, that you knew not to do too much there, and then what do you notice on people's face when they come in?
So I saw that your face is in a perfect balance. So
well, thank you.
Your vertical fifths and horizontal thirds, if we would think about that, are really great. Yeah. So if I would slim your face more by doing masseter injection, would be very, very wrong. I will come out of this harmony and balance. It's more about harmony and balance than specific features. So I wanted to help you and maybe cut down a bit reduce a bit of the power of that strong masseter there, so that you don't have grinding and different problems in the future, medical issues. But again, I wanted to preserve your beauty, because it would be very wrong that I put full dose and slim
And
your
so
face.
Is that what it does? Like women who maybe want that longer illusion, if you do Botox in the masseter, which is the jaw, that works?
Yeah, that works, because you bring out the better proportion of the lower third to the middle facial third. Proportions are changing.
And so what else are you looking, like when someone comes in, and I've done glass skin, so we can talk about that treatment as well. What do you look at within someone's face on like what to enhance, or what products to use, or fillers or Botox?
So my concept is 2D and 3D all together. So what I'm trying to understand is position of your eyes, how deep set are your eyes, how your eyebrows are following that flare of your medial and lateral canthus, then position of your eyes towards your lips, the nostrils toward different parts of the lips, then chin, position of the chin towards your iris, and different little stuff and little details. And I try to balance all that. Plus, I want a beautiful contour of your face, because what is the problem sometimes with facelifts? We do the surgery, we just do 2D concept. So we lift the skin.
The facelifts are looking good. I gotta say, Kris Jenner looks amazing.
Yeah.
But they're starting to, it's just like...
Yes, exactly.
And it seems like that's the new trend right now.
That's a new trend, but still we have to preserve this geography of the face. This is making us human versus, just this sharp facelift look is something which is very, very quickly, I guess, will go out of trend, because it's, when you see it on camera, it's nice, but when you see it live, it looks a bit weird, I would say.
Interesting. So when it comes then to filler and Botox and what we've been talking about, some say start Botox and micro Botox. And also, is that bullshit or is that real, doing micro Botox?
I think it's real.
Okay.
If it's the right indication. If person does not have any static line, no need of that.
Okay.
So you need to know the time, right time.
So where I was going with that is some people say start Botox early because it prevents wrinkles.
Yeah.
And then there's other people who say that you can have filler fatigue. So when should we start doing treatments versus like when is it too much where you can like look at someone's face and see that it's starting to look like inflamed and it's too much buildup of filler.
That, yeah. So Botox, I think it's very easy with Botox. Start Botox when you see first static line on your face, not when you frown. This is normal thing. When you frown, you have lines. But when you are not frowning, check your eyebrows, area around your eyebrows, in between your eyebrows, crow's feet. If you see any lines there, then is the time to start doing your botulinum toxin treatments and work on anti-aging and microbotox. Fillers, again, microdosing. It's better to do less is more and, build up softly, not putting one whole syringe into one point on the face. That's not going to do any good.
What about our beautiful necks? Because I am starting to notice that I'm having, they're small, but I am starting to see the little lines there. What can women do about the lines on the neck or like saggy jowls?
Yeah, I have another treatment, Swan Lift, because I personally had a problem with neck. When I stepped into the industry, everyone was so focused on the face. Then second focus were hands and after that neck. I personally think that face and neck have to be balanced because you don't want to have face which looks great and the neck which is showing off what you're doing actually. So very careful with that.
What should I do, for example, or someone that's seen those kind of...
Also Botox, because this is a muscle. This is a very long, big muscle, which we need on a way to control with Botox. Then maybe polynucleotides, collagen boosters, these beautiful treatments.
And polynucleotides, is that injected?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all this is injected.
Great. So you know that I'm coming in for an appointment next week.
Welcome.
All right. We have two fun games here that we're going to do. The first one, and let me just grab these, is that we are going to look at some famous celebrities, 3 of them. Now, Dr. Ivy has not treated them, and we are not insinuating anything, but based on your knowledge and the treatments that you've done for people, we're going to talk about what do you think they may have had done? Has it gone wrong? So have they done too much? And also just as like education for people on with the different faces of this is a treatment that I would recommend for this. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, which one do we start with? Let's do that. She's trending right now. So this is Lindsay Lohan. We have Lindsay Lohan a year ago and the glow up Lindsay. What has she had done, do you think?
I love this transformation. I think in the first picture before, she is over injected. So she got into direction of cushion face, too much fillers, maybe possibly sculpture. So a lot of things went wrong. Injections over her lips make the lip heavy. So the smile is not looking really natural. Well, I guess somebody dissolved everything and they started from scratch and they microdosed those fillers. They have made beautiful projection of her lips and she just looks clean and lean and beautiful into her anatomy, because in the first picture she was definitely over injected and something was going badly wrong with
also, I mean, just from like what I'm looking at, you can see a lot of sunspots and there's some hollowing under the eyes. So what you're saying then is, too much filler.
Too much filler on the cheeks.
Okay.
And sometimes these fillers can make a compression on the muscles. So when she smiles, she can't get a full smile and it looks unnatural. While hollowing is probably because the fillers were injected at a certain point. And I don't know, I guess it's a lot of sun damage as well connected.
So what do you think, what treatments for sun damage?
IPL probably, a lot of these laser treatments for the face to make her glow.
Do you think that someone like her has had a facelift potentially?
You know what I personally think? It is a lot of how you are living. So what is your lifestyle? How much sleep you have? Do you drink alcohol? Do you eat healthy foods? Things like that. Mostly her lifestyle and right injections. I would not I would not say that this has to be a facelift.
Okay.
Maybe nose, I don't know. Surgical.
So next one then we have is, let's go a little bit of a contrast. Anne Hathaway.
Beautiful.
So she's the other person right now who's very much trending, and everyone saw this look, just the very snatched. People are trying to see, did she have a facelift? What do you think she might have had done?
So first, right Botox. So for her, this Botox make her eyes looking great. Then possibly threads in the mid face, in the lower face.
And what exactly are threads?
Threads are made of PDO. This is materials what we use in surgery for sutures. So something which is really good for the body. Nothing, and they can produce even collagen after. So they're quite nice. They go into the fat pads and they push everything back. So sometimes it can look very snatched and defined.
And where do you think she may have had threads done?
I think probably in this area.
Okay.
I would say threads here, threads on the jawline, everything nicely connected and balanced with microdosing of fillers, probably some nose reshaping, but that is probably surgery. Yeah, lips are done properly. And you see here around her eyes, polynucleotide, something which is producing more collagen, because there was a serious lack of collagen around her eyes.
And speaking of that, before we do the last photo, I want to ask, because this is something that at least I have dealt with in the past. We've actually dissolved some migrated filler, and I do drink alcohol, and so that is a factor that I'm aware of. But I have learned that my face filler does start to migrate, and under the eyes, it can just start to like suck it up. Yeah. Whereas then other people have more hollowed eyes or under eyes, and I know it's a very, very delicate area. So what would your kind of, obviously everyone has a different face, but like blanket statement for just anyone to know about under eyes?
Well, I would not go. I always say, even to doctors that I train, don't jump into this area with filler immediately, because you have to reconstruct all the area around, and then maybe again few droplets if necessary of filler. But what sometimes is happening, what I saw again, this trends, TikTok trends or whatever, young girls come for injection under eye filler. They're calling that under eye filler, and the practitioner is injecting under the eyes. That's such a bad idea. That's a symptomatic treatment. That's like, okay, I have a fever, I will take paracetamol, that's done. But in this case, this under eye filler can grow under the skin, can make your eyes looking small. Instead of that, I would definitely consider to reconstruct all these areas, so temporal and zygomatical area, and you will get a beautiful enhancement. Plus, put some polynucleotides to, create collagen there.
Okay. All right, we have the last one. Last photo here. Mr. Zac Efron. So what do we think that he has had done?
Oh, he did the Killer Joe treatment.
Which entails what?
Well, you see the sharp line in the jaw. He probably he made exactly opposite what you wanted me to make with masseter. Instead of, his face was too slim, so they protruded his face, and they put injections in the lower facial third in order to get more masculine look, I would say. Then on the first picture, he was totally frozen, and that's not the right trend, right? We don't want to be frozen. Some people like their kind of look, but mostly we want Botox there to relax the muscle, but to keep your expression, especially with men. We don't want frozen men, because then they lose on their masculinity a lot. So I think here he probably were off Botox. So he would need probably a few droplets here and there to not to have this kind of really deep lines on the face. But he injected into jawline.
So I've shown this photo to a few people as I was getting ready for this interview, and a few men in particular. Yeah. And the comment that I got back was, and this even happened today, one of the gentlemen said, "Oh yeah, I saw that photo of him. He doesn't look very good." Now, I'm not saying that I think Zac Efron is a very handsome man. Yeah. I can see what you're saying about being more
baby face and masculine,
and that. But there was a lot of talk about this kind of after photo where people are wondering, what is he doing? It's starting to look like too much. Like, it almost makes me think of him to, like his after reminds me of Lindsay's before a little bit.
I would say that he is here caught in the wrong phase because he is caught when the Botox is wearing off, when, you know, the definition is somehow not there. But this is look of two totally different looks. Maybe he's preparing for a role. This usually could happen when I was working in movie industry. You need another image, you need another role, you need masculine man, I don't know, in the age of 50, out of a person who is maybe actor who is 30. So it's different reasons, but here is he definitely like masculine, a bit tired man, and here like very young boy, I would say teenager, or maybe it's totally two different looks.
And I can see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How interesting. We should play this game every day. All right. You have lived in Asia, worked in Asia, lived in Hong Kong, and it's very common knowledge that Asian beauty is very different than the Western world.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is, what beauty secrets are they gatekeeping from us?
Well, beauty is for them part of their wellness. So they are first of all not so hiding those secrets. For them, it's they start with facials when they're in their 16, 15. Mother is bringing her daughter for the first facial. Then they are very concerned about SPFs. They are running around. When I was there, when I came to Hong Kong, China, everyone was with little umbrellas, you know. And I came from Italy, but everyone was kind of frying their collagen on the beaches. So it was a very, very big contrast. So they know how to protect their collagen from the sun with the right foods. I remember having the most beautiful and wonderful spa in Hong Kong, where I would, after every treatment, whatever I had there, drink my collagen soup. At that time, when there was no collagen powder on the market. So then the industry came quickly to the idea, okay, let's create something like Asians drink the collagen soup, let's create collagen powder. So let's everyone drink collagen powder. So a lot of things are coming out of Asian culture actually in beauty world. And not even to say about all this big Korean boom. And I would say China is even more extreme, but we know less about China than Korea. And yeah, beauty is part of life. Beauty is part of well-being.
Do they have any specific products, for example? Like I've seen this on, I don't personally have TikTok, but I've seen it on Instagram where girls, when they go to Korea, like I lived in South Korea, I can say the skincare there is truly amazing.
Yes.
Are there any products or treatments that they are doing that we should take up or implement, or that are starting to become new to the market here?
Well, at this moment, no, because Korea is very open to Western world. I was working on actually on certification of products from Korea coming to European market. So now there's this balance. There is a balance in between that. So whatever is in Korea, we can somehow get in Western world. But what we can't get is their culture of well-being. So the way how they are treating their bodies, the way how they are eating, how they are drinking soups, and the way how they are behaving. This is what we will probably hardly get in our Western world with our Western dynamics. But products are available here and there. When I was working there, it was, I think, like I would say like 10, 12, 15 years ago, it was a big gap. So a lot of products you couldn't get here. Yeah, injectables even, yeah, threads, micro threads. I was doing threads on women maybe since 2005, and threads became trend here maybe, I would say 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
and really becoming more. Still, many people don't know about threads. Let's quickly talk, because I'm just thinking about that. It very similar when I lived in Asia, and I've lived all over. They do protect themselves from the sun in the Western world, and especially like we live in England and jetting off to Italy. I'm like, I am not sitting in the sun. Give me an Aperol spritz, and I'm gonna sit and bake, and I'm okay with it. And I will put my sunscreen on. But my skin, I naturally get I don't burn.
Yeah.
As so I know my skin much better. You know, like I think that's an important thing. But what advice do you have, like, to someone like me, for example, like Dr. Ivy? I love you and I love coming to you, but I'm not going to be standing there with the umbrella.
That would be
So
too much.
what's the balance that we can find for those who do enjoy going out in the sun?
Yes, we have to enjoy sun, because sun is giving so many benefits, like vitamin D3. Example, in China, I delivered my kids in Asia. So it was a really big problem because they have not on the right way develop bones like we do because we are more on the sun, right? So everything in moderation. I would say prepare your skin before summer, and then when you come back, try to hydrate your skin with specific products, which are clinical products, and then keep with your routines. But prepare collagen boosters before, collagen boosters after, and maybe some hydration boosters. That way is how to prepare your skin.
And what about like when I lived in Miami, I had, no matter how much sunscreen I put on, I had quite bad melasma and pigmentation. And I think with also lifestyle changes that went away. But what treatments or lasers or things like that of those style treatments do you recommend for melasma pigmentation?
Melasma pigmentation, definitely IPL, Subwave is great for lifting the skin, preparing the skin. And this is actually a great machine because it's not, sun is not important. So for people who live in Miami, Hong Kong, wherever it's sunny, so you can always do that treatment. It's not bringing any problem with melasma. It's always protecting yourself from the sun. SPF is the key, right? So I remember when I was living in Hong Kong, 70. Australia 70, so SPF 70 is quite high.
And that's even interesting, and we won't, just for time's sake, but there is a lot of talk of people saying like, oh, the SPF world, we shouldn't be doing it, don't be using it, it's actually blocking your skin, and so it's sort of hard to know like what works, what doesn't. Go for the all natural or the zinc or so when it comes to sunscreen, what is your tip that someone should buy or avoid?
I think there are so many beautiful sunscreens on the market. Maybe not those very greasy ones, because they can later on clog the pores and maybe produce some other issues what we don't want. But this just mineral sunscreens are beautiful, and you even have them tinted, so you can look brilliant with them. I think that's something to go. I'm not big fan of those do it at home treatments because I saw things going terribly wrong, of people applying lemon and going on the sun, burning everything.
I did used to do that to my hair though, and it did work and lighten it, I gotta say. All right, just for time's sake, I have so many more questions that I want to ask, but let's do this. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
You ready?
Great, ready.
Okay, rapid fire skincare, yay or nay?
Okay.
So it's a hard yes or hard no. Which one would you choose? Hard yay or nay, Botox or filler?
Both.
Huh?
Both.
No, you have to choose one.
Fillers.
Fillers, okay. Why filler over Botox?
Because it also hydrates your skin.
Okay.
And so it brings second benefit. And when it dissolves, a bit is stimulating your own collagen.
All right.
Well, Botox is there and then it's gone.
Red light therapy or retinol?
Red light.
Red light, okay. What's more important, your morning or your nighttime skincare routine?
Nighttime.
Nighttime?
Yeah,
Why?
I think because skin is then going into different phase and needs all these benefits, what you can bring her, hydration and everything else, and especially makeup. Cleaning of the makeup before going to sleep.
Microneedling or chemical peels?
Microneedling.
Why?
Chemical peels you can't control. I'm a control freak. So I think beauty you have to control. So microneedling, at least you know how deep you penetrate. And what I learned out of my 25 years being in that world, less is more. Don't destroy skin and think like when people go out after microneedling, all bleeding, half bleeding, like that's great. It's not great. So you should use microneedling again, like a fine balance to, produce a result, but not destroy the barrier of the skin or not be too aggressive on the skin. So at least I can control it, how deep it goes and how strong it is.
All right, lip filler or lip flip?
Again, this is a hard question. For some people, is lip flip better option? For some people, it's filler.
And very quickly, what is a lip flip for those who don't know?
A lip flip is we are playing with neuromodulators, both botulinum toxin around the lips, and that way we are flipping the lip, which is great for people who are like me, talking a lot, and overusing that muscle. So in that way, you can 100% produce lip flip. But if you talk about enhancing of the lips for a woman who needs a little bit of also optimizing the lip shape, I would definitely go for lip filler.
Filler, okay. Face taping, bullshit or order it immediately?
Maybe BS.
I think we can leave it there. All right, at home dermaplaning, safe or risky?
I think risky. I don't know. I would never do that. I'm not a big fan of those trends.
It's great. Rapid fire yays or nays. You gave really, really great answers and explanations. So my last question here is, there is so much pressure to keep up with looking good. And we have evolved from natural beauty like Grace Kelly and Audrey Hepburn to girls wanting to look like the Kardashians. And not to say anything's wrong with them, but we can see that the beauty industry has evolved. Young girls are spending so much time and money at Sephora, and we are chasing Hailey Bieber's skin. Yeah. So when is it too much, and where do you think the beauty industry is going to go from here?
I think we came to the point when it is too much, because what I truly believe, you have to be happy in your own skin. You have to present what you really are inside out. You have to not escape from your own anatomy. This is your own anatomy. You have to feel good with it, and you have to enhance with little bits and pieces, but you can't go into creating clones. When I was in Asia, that was the biggest problem we had. We did not want to create clones, because at some point they came to this idea to look westernized, which was totally wrong. She is Asian. She's beautiful, like being an Asian. We want this one eyelid. Why to do double eyelids? Why to, change the face so much? So it was really funny. I will just tell you this little story. I was preparing at some point in Milan a Victoria's Secret model, Asian, who was looking so beautiful and so Asian. And she told me, Ivy, you work and live in Asia, and do you think I could marry in Asia? I said no. Because she was exactly everything what Asian men did not want. And she was so beautiful how she was looking. So I think you should preserve what you are. And beauty industry at the end will finish when it started in this natural beauty, with a little bit of enhancement, with a little bit of biohacking, with more wellness, more wellness to it and concept of lifestyle to it than just injections and just copying some trends.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Dr. Ivy, so much for coming on A Sharper Life. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I enjoyed it
so much.
And to learn more about how you can connect with Dr. Ivy, head to the show notes. We have all of the links. And as a special thank you to our amazing listeners, you can get 20% off Dr. Ivy's skincare range using code Nikki20. And trust me, you are going to want to get your hands on it. I have been using it. I love it. I'm obsessed. So head to the show notes to check everything out and connect with Dr. Ivy. If you enjoyed this week's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it, and rate it. And until next week, here's to a sharper life.